What is up, Jayhawk fans? My name is Andrew Lynn, and I welcome you into the first episode of Rock Chalk Replay. Now, Rock Chalk Replay gives KU students a chance to get all their broadcasting needs right here in the studio. Now, today we are going to take a look back at what happened through KU Athletics over the weekend, and now also looking forward into KU Athletics this week. So now I toss it over to Kristen and Izzy for a replay of this weekend's KU sports.
It was back to reality for the KU football team as the Jayhawks fell 49-22 to 17th ranked Coastal Carolina on Friday in Conway, South Carolina. There is hope for the future, however, as this game was a lot closer than the final score indicated. Quarterback Jason Bean ran for 118 yards and 2 touchdowns while throwing for 189 yards. But it was the mistakes on the special teams that cost them most. The Chanticleers blocked an extra point and a punt in the first half, twice stopping any momentum the Jayhawks could put together.
KU is now 1-1 on the season and will open Big 12 conference play against Baylor on Saturday afternoon at David Booth Kansas Memorial Stadium. Kickoff is at 2:30 p.m. and the game will be shown on ESPN Plus and the Big 12 Now network.
The volleyball team swept its way through Kansas Invitational this weekend, defeating Delaware, Wichita State, and Kent State each in 3 sets. A focal point of the weekend occurred on Saturday when the Jayhawks found themselves down 9-2 in the second set against Golden Flashes. Without the benefit of a timeout call, KU battled back and took the second set 26-24. Coach Bouchard said the focus on serving and serve receiving is what makes the team effective.
At 9-2, there's plenty of time to make momentum shift, but we did that in the next 6-7 points, and it goes back, we talk about the first contact all the time. How are we serving and how are we receiving serve? And when those two things settle down for us, we're going to be a high-level team.
The Jayhawks are now 5-3 overall and will host another tournament next weekend at the Horse Family Volleyball Arena. Teams competing in the Jayhawk Classic include Kansas City, Missouri State, and Albany.
The soccer team split a pair of non-conference games this weekend at Rock Chalk Park. The Jayhawks knocked off future conference foe Cincinnati 4-1 on Thursday and lost 3-0 to Washington State on Sunday. KU is now 4-3-1 overall and will join the Ivy League this week. Kansas will play Dartmouth on Thursday and then travel to Harvard on Sunday.
The men's golf season has been underway for a week, and the women will tee it up for the first time this week in Albuquerque at the Dick McGuire Invitational, hosted by the University of New Mexico. The men placed 5th in their season opener at the Marquette Intercollegiate and are currently in the lead after day 1 of the Gopher Invitational in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Sophomore Luke Kluver is tied for the individual lead at 5 under par.
The tennis season also begins this weekend as the Jayhawks will compete in split squads at the Battle of the Bay in San Francisco and the Virginia Invitational in Charlottesville, Virginia.
The swim and dive season won't officially start until October 1st, but the CSCAA Open Water Championships will be at Lone Star Lake on Friday.
And finally, the fall softball season is expected to get underway on Saturday against St. Mary's University. Last weekend's opener against Ottawa University was postponed.
And that'll wrap it up for today's KU Athletics replay. After the break, Jordan and Kyle will be here with their college football hot takes. Please keep watching.
Yeah, I always just clap in this part.
This is where everyone's talking amongst themselves. Do you know how to do it? Do you know how to do it?
Are we supposed to smile?
When do we start? Somebody over here already started.
Can we talk about the piccolo part? It's the most complicated one.
It is. If you listen, you're doing it when the band's not playing.
You have to tell me when it starts. I still don't know.
Here we go. Just clapping now. No humps.
Nailed it.
I practiced this morning.
Mine was just 2 people.
It has a right and a wrong way of doing it. No. Wrong.
I like my way better.
I don't know how to
1,
do
2,
the
3,
end.
4.
It's just I don't know the
Sorry.
head.
It's hard by yourself.
Welcome back to Rock Chalk Replay. You just saw Izzy and Kristen wrap up what happened in KU athletics over this past week while looking forward to this week. But now it's all about college football. KU this past weekend fell their first time of the season to Coastal Carolina, 49-22. And across the country and other parts, there were a lot of roller coaster games with some upsets and some blowouts. So now I send it over to Kyle and Jordan, who are going to talk about sleeper picks this year in terms of who is going to make the college football playoff, as well as some QB talk. So Jordan, what do you see this week from college football, and what can we expect going forward?
All right, thank you, Andrew. So my sleeper picks for the college football playoffs, I have 3 of them, and it's Penn State, UCLA, and a very surprising one is Cincinnati, the Bearcats. Starting with Penn State, obviously their conference is very good, and they have more than enough powerhouse teams on their schedule to make the playoffs. It's just a matter of if they can keep winning, and I think they will. They had a big win against Wisconsin to start the year, and they look great against Ball State this weekend. And coming up, they've got a whiteout game, college game day against Auburn, and I think they're going to win that one and continue to roll into the playoffs. UCLA is also undefeated with a huge win at home against LSU and looks to be pretty much unbeatable right now in the Pac-12. They have big games against Arizona State and USC, but by far the biggest game they're going to have on their schedule is at home against Oregon. And if they're able to pull off that upset against Oregon, they're looking very good to be in the college football playoffs. Finally, Cincinnati, Group of 5 team. It's always a long shot to think a Group of 5 team can get into the playoffs, but they're the highest rated Group of 5 team in the playoff era. And they have teams like Indiana, Notre Dame, and UCF on their schedule. If they go undefeated, it is possible they could secure that 4th spot.
Yeah, I agree with you with those picks. I just really hope that the College Football Playoff Committee, when they start making their rankings, don't kind of ruin their season by leaving them out of the playoffs. If they're undefeated, let them in. Like last year, Cincinnati, they were undefeated. Their only loss was to Georgia. They didn't get in the playoffs. So, yeah. My hot take is that I believe that the quarterback play in college football is the lowest that it's been and the worst that it's been in years. I mean, the college football season in 2020 was averaging over 30 points a game for the winning team. This season, not so much. Georgia-Clemson played in week 1, and Georgia won that game 10-3, and those were 2 top 5 teams. DJ Ungelele and JT Daniels did not have a good performance in that game, and many other quarterbacks like from Iowa, Iowa State, Texas A&M and such are not doing that great compared to superstars like Trevor Lawrence, Tua Tagovailoa, and others that made it to the NFL. So I don't know what you think about that, but what do you think about the quarterback play?
I'm going to go ahead and agree with you right there, especially when there's quarterbacks like Bryce Young with Alabama. If Georgia runs into Alabama in the SEC championship game, I really don't know how JT Daniels is going to fare. And not to mention the running back play has been outstanding, which I think is actually setting back the quarterback play. Like C.J. Verdell for Oregon has been really good, but you don't hear about Oregon's passing offense because they continue to run the ball. So I think the presence of the run in college football has actually brought down the quarterback play so far.
Yeah, so we'll have to see how it goes, and as we head into week 3 with some big-time games. So,
all right, thank you. Now back to Andrew.
Yeah, thanks, Jordan. And Kyle, that was some great insight. I think one of the things going forward is going to see if the college football playoff ends up expanding to 6 teams or not. I know, like you talked about, limiting to 4 teams, takes away that shot for some of those other powerhouse teams who still proved to be successful over the course of the season. So that is all we have for the first episode of Rock Chalk Replay. Tune in next week for another edition. Thanks so much for joining us.